Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Ridgeline Hunting podcast. I am your host, David Crane, and this is brought to you by Phelps Game Calls, professional grade game calls made for every hunter. Go ahead and check out everything they have over at Phelps.com. Phelpsgamecalls.com. If you type in Phelps.com, I'm actually not sure what would pop up, but yes, Phelpsgamecalls.com, check them out. If you need anything from elk calls, predator calls, waterfowl calls, turkey calls, and that even comes with like box calls and slates, check them out. Great sponsor. Also, we're doing a giveaway with them coming up here soon. It's going to be a Unleashed V2, an easy sucker call. It's a cow call, great company. Check them out. Phelps, they've been with us pretty much since day one with the podcast and also the YouTube channel. And today I'm actually going to be breaking down the rifle that I'm going to be using for this year. I'm going to be using it for the bear season and also for the modern rifle season. And it is a Ruger American Gen 2, and there are huge differences between the Gen 1 and Gen 2. There's going to be an actual separate video of the two rifles side by side, and I will be breaking down, obviously the visuals and the differences between the two rifles. But right now, I have right here the Ruger American Gen 2. I'll also be breaking down everything. Check out the barrel on this thing. So when we do the side-by-side comparison, it's going to be completely different. Usually I would be also on OBS. It's recording software that you can use, and I would be popping up my screen right now, but for some reason I'm having technical difficulties and it's not reading my camera or my podcast setup. So I'm going to have to change up some things to make sure that we can get that to work, because it would make this a lot easier. But my Ruger American Gen 2 is in 7 PRC. If you listen to the previous podcast or seen any of the videos, I actually have one video out where I'm shooting the rifle at the range, and we were just getting the barrel set and doing like a quick 100-yard comparison. Or I'm sorry, we're grouping at 100 yards. So we're just trying to get everything dialed to where once I chrono this rifle, we'll be able to get it all tuned in with the app and the turret on the top for the scope. And I am running this is a Vortex Viper scope. It's, let's see, I think it's 6.5 by 20. Yep, 6.5 by 20 on here. It is not exposed turrets. And the turret system, this does not have a zero stop. So I really have to be mindful of my zero and where I'm going with that, because without the stop, it just makes everything a lot difficult if you're not paying attention. You can be lined up on something and completely miss the shot because you weren't paying attention. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So with the Ruger Gen 2, what are you getting? Well, number one, it retails on the website for $729 out the door. $729, plus tax. But in the state of Washington, I actually got mine at Sportsman's Warehouse for $5.99. So I am way under retail from the Ruger website. Obviously, you can tell the difference between the first gen and the second gen with the spiraled barrel. This thing is awesome. Also, the first gen did not come with a muzzle brake, but it did come threaded. The stock, it's a synthetic stock, but there's like a, I don't know, like a paint or a grip to it. It is really, really nice. It does have a different safety. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the safety, but it's a 3-stage safety. So that is really cool. The bolt knob is a little bit larger for the throw. Oh, now I got it. Let's do that right here. Huge bolt knob. Great action. Also, the magazine is completely different. They upgraded the magazine. There's loading issues with the Gen 1. I have a Gen 1 in 6.5 Creedmoor. I didn't have any loading issues, but supposedly, like, when you're going to load it, it actually gets stuck and then it won't load. So either you have to like push it down or jam it forward or something like that. I didn't have any problems. I definitely don't have any problems with the Gen 2, but I mean, just looking at this rifle, it's like night and day comparison to the Gen 1. Plus, like, what you're getting for a rifle that's under $1,000, and for me it was under $700. Got it for $599. And then I just put, obviously, the scope. I actually had this scope already. I got this scope probably like 5 or 6 years ago. This was on my 308. I will be getting a different optic for the top. I don't know if I'm going to stay with Vortex. If I do, it's going to be the brand new Viper HD. Obviously, it won't be new when I'm getting it. I'll be getting it sometime next year, because I'm going to be using this setup right here for the rest of 24 for bear and deer. And it also comes with this nice little cheek rest. Now, for me, it works out perfect because my scope rings, I actually have medium scope rings. It actually lines up perfectly with the cheek rest to the scope, but you can remove this, and you can remove this extra spacer here. For me, I have kind of long arms, so I'm actually grateful that this came with the rifle because I actually needed it. But what you'll do is there's a couple screws on here. You'll remove all this, and then the cheek rest can be removed as well. So that's really awesome. A new feature for the Ruger Gen 2. Now, this is just the regular Ruger American. They actually have 2 other models. They have the Ranch, and they also have the Predator model that is slowly starting to come out. So my Gen 1 is actually a Predator model. It has a green stock. The new one has the same green stock as this with the paint and everything, or the splash. It's kind of hard to see on here, but it's actually got, like, I don't know, it's got a grip to it. It's not smooth. It's really nice. It's really nice to hold. The action is really nice. I really like the larger knob. Like, this larger knob is nice. I don't know. It just feels nice in the hand. It's a nice throw for the bolt and action and everything. The trigger itself is just really nice. I don't know. This rifle just, I'm very impressed with this rifle. Let's just say that. So right out of the box, threw on the scope, got the bipod. The bipod was like $100. I want to say this was $399 or $499 when I bought it. So with everything together, I'm under $1,000. Under $1,000. And my groups at 100 yards were within at least the size of a nickel. I would say it's maybe even a dime, but I didn't have anything out there. I didn't bring my micrometer. I didn't have anything to measure, but each hole was touching each other. Like, it was put in there. I shot 3 shots. It was all right in there. I couldn't be happier at 100 yards. Now, is it going to change when I start shooting this rifle out to distance? I don't know. We're going to have to find out. That's to be continued. But as of right now, I am super impressed. And I mean, just looking at this rifle, I mean, for under $1,000, this thing is sexy. The spiral barrel. So the barrel comes in 20 inches. The ranch, let's see. The ranch rifle is a lot shorter barrel size. I want to say it's like 16. Yeah, it's a 16.10. Still spiraled, still has the muzzle brake at the end. Cheek riser, the same stock. It's just a different color, so it's like a brown color. The Predator model, though, so the one that I have, the regular American, that one is a 20-inch barrel. And then the Predator model, they all come in a 22-inch barrel. Now, the Ruger American Gen 2 comes in all calibers. Anything you can think of. 350 Legend, 400 Legend, 6mm Arc, 6.5 Grendel, 6mm Creedmoor, 204 Ruger. Now they have a brand new 75th anniversary Ruger. It looks like it's black and red, and the action in the barrel is black, and the muzzle brake is all black. It's a red and black splash for the stock, and that comes. Oh, they don't actually have the calibers for that one, but they do have a Ruger 75th anniversary Gen 2 edition, which looks pretty slick. They have the 308, 7mm 08, 450 Bushmaster, 204 Ruger. I mean, the list goes on. 6.5 Creedmoor, 223, 243, 30-06, 300 Win Mag, 270, 7mm PRC, which I have, which a lot of people are saying, like, dude, where'd you get that from? So everybody's kind of like, hey man, where'd you get that from? And I guess I got lucky because it was just in the store. I walked in with a buddy of mine. He was picking up the rifle that he just purchased, and I was looking at purchasing a Ruger Gen 2. I was just looking at a 6.5 PRC, and they happened to have a 7mm PRC, and I was like, well, looks like I'm getting the 7mm. So I picked that up, and I haven't been disappointed at all, really. It's been a great rifle so far. There will be, the comparison video that I'm going to do with the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. So we'll have those side by side. You'll be able to see them and really just be the judge of like what Ruger has brought out for the consumer. I don't have the money to go and build one of these high-end, really crazy rifles. I don't have the funds for that. So when Ruger brought out this rifle that aesthetically just looks immaculate, looks awesome, and then when you go and shoot it and it just performs fantastic. And I was shooting 180 grain Hornady match round. I will be getting the chrono information for that and the 7 PRC ELDX. That will be my main hunting round, depending on how it groups. I'm really hoping that it groups really well. If it groups anything like the match round did at 500 yards, because that's my goal, I'm going to try to reach out to 500 yards. If I can get to 500 yards, I'll be extremely happy. So if that can get into a group, and I'm no match shooter, so if I can get a group, the size of a softball, or let's say like a dinner plate, I'm going to be happy. If I was a match shooter, I would probably not be happy. But I'm also using factory rounds. I don't have any of this stuff to hand load quite yet. I will eventually get there, hopefully sooner than later, because I really do like being able to be really precise. But if Hornady in this ELDX round performs well, then we're going to be okay. So I will just be able to use like factory rounds instead of hand loading, which would be great. Only because it's extremely hard to find the components to do that. All right, everybody, I had to take a quick exit there really quick. My dog had thrown up downstairs, so I had to go and clean that up. But if you're a dog owner, it happens. But anyways, yeah, the Ruger Gen 2, once I get everything all chronoed in and I have my data, I'm pretty excited to actually start shooting further down range. And I keep on putting this thing down and I keep on ending up grabbing it. But the ergos for me, which basically just how it feels in the hand, how I can just get right down the scope almost instantly. I don't really have any adjustments here. I'm already looking right down the scope. If you're looking for a rifle that's not going to break the bank, I would definitely give the Ruger Gen 2 a look. I know here in Washington State, they retail for $5.99. I don't know about other places, but I'm actually looking here on the Ruger website. The MSRP is for $7.29. I definitely didn't pay that. And with this package that I have on right now, it's under $1,000. This Viper scope that I have is extremely nice glass, performs well. The only thing that is not ideal is that it's not open turrets, which I really like, and it's just, fast to adjust. Also, I mean, the 6.5 by 20 is really nice, but I'm thinking that I'm going to end up changing this. That would make this build a lot more expensive. I'm thinking about the Viper HD 3 by 15. I think that would be a really nice view window, that 3 to 15. I think it would be perfect. Either that or the Maven. I went with a Maven binocular, the 12 by 50s, and I really like those. The Maven is a lot more expensive. But then there's also the Arkin. I watch another YouTuber by the name of Hootie Hoo, and he tops all of his rifles with the Arkin, and I've been looking at them, and I haven't really heard anything too extreme on how bad the scope is. So I might be giving that a try, and if I do that, it actually might end up being right around the same price, except for there's open turrets. They also have the zero stop. So I might try that scope out as well. I am not sponsored by anybody, so this review, or really this breakdown of this rifle, is just because I own it. I'm not sponsored by Vortex. I'm not sponsored by Ruger. Not sponsored by Magpul. I just really like this rifle, and for the price, I don't think you can beat it. And I really think that you're going to start seeing a lot more people shooting the Ruger. It's super inexpensive, and I believe you're just getting a really put together, well-built rifle. I mean, you can upgrade the stock. I'm waiting to see if a couple stock manufacturers start building Ruger long action. I will be upgrading the 6.5 Creedmoor, which is the Ruger American. It's the short action. MDT makes a stock for that. I believe I'm going to be the Oryx. I think that is the stock that I'm going to probably go with, just to flash it up a little bit. You will see during the comparison, it will have the original stock on it. The only thing that will be different on the Gen 1 than you would get it out of the box is that it does have a muzzle brake on it. That is the only thing that's different. So the Gen 1 came with the like a thread cover. So it does come threaded. It just doesn't come with a muzzle brake like this one does. This one out of the box comes with everything. Even came with the rail on the top for the scope. So I didn't have to purchase that either. And for $599. And with the scope under $1,000, it's crazy. Obviously, you can spend 3 times the cost of the rifle, 4 times. I mean, you can go crazy with the scopes that you can pick up. But I believe this rifle could be retail at like $1,200, to be honest with you. I can't attest to any of the other calibers, but also with the Gen 1. The Gen 1 and 6.5 Creedmoor, I bought that for my kids. They love how it shoots. They haven't shot it with the muzzle brake on it yet, but it shoots just keyholes. And it's always been like that straight out of the box. And that one came with a Vortex Crossfire 3 or something like that. I don't know. It's a fairly budget Vortex scope. I've never had a problem with it. Not once. My son shot his very first blacktail deer with it. We've shot it out at the range, and it just performs. And same with the Gen 2. So nothing has changed really with how the rifles are performing. The only thing that I wish that would have changed with the standard Gen 2 is that in some of the higher calibers that it would have come out with a 22-inch barrel. Now, the Predator model is a 22-inch barrel. So if you want to wait for the Predator to come out, obviously it's a different stock. The barrel is like a bronze. Same with the muzzle brake. It's all the same color. It does look really, really cool. But for me, right when I saw this on the shelf, there was no way that I could pass it up. I had to pick it up. I had to buy it. I hadn't seen anybody doing any reviews on the 7 PRC when I picked it up. Now there's a few out there now. People are able to pick these up. I'm not sure if they're ordering them. I'm not sure. I picked mine up in the store. But yeah, I guess I was one of the lucky few that got one, and it's time to start chronoing and really getting this thing dialed because I am a month away from bear season. I will be missing the very first week. My wife decided to book us a trip to Hawaii, which I was bummed out only because I was super excited for bear season this year. Here in Washington State, our wildlife commission, I'm not sure what the deal is with them. I'm not really going to get into all that, but we still have a bear season, and I want to try to go out and hunt for bear in my home state as much as I can, because to be honest with you, I think it's a resource that we should be enjoying, and I'm going to enjoy it when I fill my tag with this Ruger Gen 2 and 7 PRC. And hopefully here soon, I'll have another video coming out with the comparisons of the Gen 1 and the Gen 2, and then also some data for people shooting any of the Hornady rounds. We'll see how those end up stacking up. Basically grouping up. So if the groups are not as good as that I want, I am going to go with a different round. Let's see. Federal has ELDX also. I'm not sure if it's any different than Hornady, but we'll see. I mean, you really want to dive into a round that's going to group, and you want it to group well, and you want it to group well at distance. And that is what I plan on doing. And it's going to be a factory round until I can start reloading on my own and finding all the components that I actually need to start reloading this rifle. But yeah, this is the Ruger American Gen 2. Extremely beautiful rifle for a very cheap cost. And everybody, thank you for listening. We really enjoy doing the podcast. We really enjoy doing the YouTube, and we hope that everybody is enjoying it. Please leave a comment, subscribe, thumbs up. We really want to hear your feedback as well, so please leave a comment. And before we take off, let's hear a little drop from Phillips. Hey everybody, if you are looking for a game call that is elk, turkey, deer, predator calls, waterfowl calls, we highly recommend PhillipsGameCalls.com. Professional grade game calls made for every hunter. That's right, and we're giving one of these away. What is this? Unleashed V2. That is right. Comes with 2 different mouthpieces. If you are not familiar with using a mouth reed, don't worry about it. This comes with a mouthpiece with 1 built in. That's right. And these are interchangeable. So you can buy those diaphragms and change them out. You just basically take them apart, use the actual little diaphragm piece, pop that right in there. You have a problem with getting those diaphragms down in there and choking on them or whatnot, don't worry about it. Don't need it. And boom, right here, the easy sucker. This thing is fantastic. Mike Peterson, who's been on a few videos and also on the podcast, he uses one because he has a problem making noise with the diaphragm. This eliminates that. So we're going to have 2 winners here coming up soon. There will be a video, and it'll probably be on our social medias as well. So if you are on Instagram or Facebook, check out Ridgeline Hunting and the Ridgeline Hunting podcast. We have tons of pictures up there, and we also do other giveaways throughout the year on those platforms. And if you're listening to us on any podcasting platform and you want to see the podcast or any other videos, check us out on YouTube, Ridgeline Hunting. And we did hit a milestone. We have over 1,000 subscribers, and we are growing daily. So thank you for being a part of that journey. And we just hope to keep on growing and bringing you guys good content. And that was my breakdown of my new rifle. So yeah, the Ruger Gen 2 and 7 PRC. I really hope I'm able to fill a tag with it this year. I've been on a cold spell, which sucks because I am running out of game meat, and that is not good. So I need to get to work, and you guys have a good night. Take it easy, and thank you for listening and watching. Bye.